This isn't a trading talk. It's not about charts, price predictions, or learning to code. The goal is simple. By the end of this, you'll understand why Bitcoin matters and the kind of impact it could have on the world. Just in the same way you understand the internet. Not the engineering behind it, just the significance. If you're old enough to remember life before the internet, sending information was slow and clunky. You wrote letters, sent faxes, or made phone calls. If you wanted to show someone a document overseas, you printed it, posted it, and waited days, sometimes weeks. Information was slow, mostly local, and often expensive to move. That's the world the internet arrived into. When the internet first appeared, most people didn't say, "This will change the world." They said things like, "Not even email can replace written letters. Why would anyone type card details into a website? Online shopping will flop." And more recently, music streaming will never replace the quest for vinyl. People wrote off the internet as just a passing fad. New networks rarely arrive looking important. They usually look like a toy or a crazy idea at first. But over time, the people who paid attention early had a head start. Under the hood, the internet is just a collection of protocols, nodes, and technical systems most of us never think about. What matters wasn't the engineering, it was what the network enabled. Email instead of letters, search instead of phone books, online shops instead of catalogs, video calls instead of expensive long-distance calls. You didn't need to understand how the internet worked. You just needed to understand what it did. Today, information moves instantly across the globe. You can send a message, a photo, or video anywhere in seconds. Money, however, hasn't fully caught up. Large bank transfers can take days. Payments can get delayed over weekends and holidays, and sending money across borders can be incredibly slow and expensive. Access to financial services still depends heavily on where you live and what system you were born into. That gap, fast information, slow money, is part of why Bitcoin exists. Here's the big idea in one sentence. The internet is an open network for information. Bitcoin is an open network for value. Anyone can connect to the internet, send or receive information without permission. Bitcoin applies that same idea to money. Anyone can send or store value on the same shared network without needing approval from a bank or a payment company. It doesn't replace everything overnight, but for the first time, we have an open global monetary network. Think of it like the internet is the open infrastructure. Websites, apps, and platforms run on top of it. Anyone can create, build, and use it, and there is no ultimate owner. In the same way, Bitcoin, the network, is the underlying infrastructure for money. Wallets, exchanges, and payment apps are the tools built on top. No one controls it. It's intentionally slow to change, which has made it incredibly resilient. As a result, this gives it a solid foundation for apps to be built on. So why does this matter? We already have digital pounds and instant payments. The difference is what backs the system. The money we use today is issued and controlled fully by governments, and they have the ability to create it out of thin air whenever they need to, which results in price inflation. Bitcoin tackles this problem head on by being a form of money with no issuer, rules that don't change, a supply that cannot be increased. It's not just digital money, we already have that. It's digital money with built-in scarcity, designed to hold value over long periods of time, and is a fair base for everyone. Most headlines lump everything together under crypto, but Bitcoin is the first, and is fundamentally different from most of what came after. The perception, Bitcoin is just a small piece of the wider crypto market, but in reality, it makes up 58%. Bitcoin launched in 2009 with no CEO and no company. Its rules are extremely hard to change, and it's the only network focused exclusively on being the best money. Most other tokens are launched by teams or businesses. Their rules can change easily, and it's widely accepted that you can view these as tech projects. When you hear about collapses, hacks, or scandals, it's usually those projects, not the Bitcoin network itself. In fact, it's one of the most secure networks in the world. So why does any of this matter in the real world? For savers, it offers a way to hold value in something that can't be printed at will. For freedom and resilience, it matters in places with unstable currencies or heavy financial controls. For access, you don't need a bank, just a phone and internet connection. For innovation, it provides a neutral base layer for building new financial tools. This is why people care about it, for reasons beyond just the price. You don't need to love Bitcoin. You don't need to use it. But just like the early internet, it's probably unwise to ignore it completely. The world is changing if we like it or not, and standing still is falling behind.